So a lot of men were looking for paradise on earth 200 years ago. Quite understandably. But according to Fleming, travelling south was in those days a very bad idea. I wonder if I would have sailed off to Africa anyway. Probably. Well, if you found my corpse in the Gabon or somewhere less interesting even, it's just possible I would have my passport in a pocket in a waterproof case, I think. And if you wanted to know who I am, then obviously you'd look on the back page and see who the relative and the friend are, to be contacted in the event of accident. Now, Belinda, my wife, obviously, she knows me well, and then I think probably the friend who knows me best, probably better than I know myself or would want to know myself, is Ian McEwan.
Wow. Well, I have to say I'm very touched. I didn't know that. So in the event of something terrible happening to Redzi, and nothing ever will, of course, someone might be in touch with me.
First with
and
Belinda.
I'd arrange the rescue party.
Yes.
The helicopters, and my goodness. Okay, well, at least I'm ready now. Well, it is a real honour. I'm very touched.
Why is it always something has to go wrong when O'Hanlon starts travelling?
Well, he'll probably tell you about the 19th century laws of thermodynamics. You know, that, well, the second law of thermodynamics is that systems tend towards chaos. And Redmond was put on Earth to accelerate this process. And underneath that is the more important Redzi, which is the Redmond who is the natural history editor of the Times Literary Supplement, who can recognize just about any bird from any distance, who has read extensively through 19th century biological writing especially, who lives in unbelievable chaos and squalor in the Pelican House, but when he wishes to make a point can just leap up from his seat and find from under a dirty plate the book, the page that he needs.
Do you have any idea why he has this flirtation with the 19th century?
I think that it's got something to do with his childhood. I think Redmond had a pretty difficult and darker and troubling childhood that even now, I think, is a force to a kind of darker element, slightly more melancholic, depressive, sometimes angry side of him that most of us never see.
When he was travelling to write a book and commissioned to write the book, he's not the fun person, which, as Simon discovered in South America, because he gets very serious and very obsessed with getting a story and all of this kind of thing. And that's the number one. And I think he wouldn't even notice if he'd forgotten me somewhere. Seriously.
I would.
The entertaining Redmond is very different to the working, I'm going to write the best book ever and this has got to be the best sentence ever. And it's a very different person. There'll be a whole build-up of I don't want to go away again, I want to stay here with the cat and all of this before he leaves this time. But if he stayed here with the cat, I think he'd very soon just do a little sync.
Probably even make the cat miserable eventually.
When I had a student house lodging, my father took me out to the hotel, the Randolph. I thought, this is very strange. I've never done that before. And
he was a vicar, and she, of course, is the vicar's wife, and you just do not go out to eat then. So it was strange. And he kept saying that he's going to wear the trousers, and we've got to have pudding, we've got to have cheese, all these unheard of things. And then when we got back to the house, she came out, and it was very strange because she was holding 2 petrol cans, and she jumped into the car, and he reversed down the street with the wheels squealing and did a 3-point turn and then headed off, and I went into the house. And I thought, well, so very odd there. My room was bare. All that was left was a book of Wordsworth, all my Darwin, everything, Wallace, had gone. And then I looked out of the window into the little vegetable garden behind, and there was the most massive fire there. And so I dashed downstairs. The heat was too intense. I couldn't get anywhere near it. And it was obvious there. I could see the spines burning. All my books had burned. And pictures. This is the second one of these, even that, on the grounds that it was modern and immodest and indelicate. And Darwin, he was a pagan, and it was the most terrible thing. So, great blow. But it convinced me that books really, really matter. In a way, it was a great gift. They're worth burning. They're worth risking your whole friendship with your child for. They're worth everything. So gradually I managed to accumulate, even more books. Maybe that's where that comes from.
I think the Church of England, which Redzi loathes, the memory of his childhood, which he also loathes, the coldness of his father, the violence of his mother, the forced Sunday church going, which he rebelled against as fairly on in his childhood. All of these are somehow embraced by himself becoming almost a parody of a vicar, but of a 19th century vicar of the Darwinian sort. So that's my theory.
Growing up as the son of a vicar was a small hell for me. But when I was a young boy, I had my own El Dorado, my escape.
All this is exactly as it was.
And it still exists. This little paradise with my old neighbour, Serena Henley. Before I went off on any travels, I always visited her to say goodbye. She was like a real mother to me. And actually, she still is.
Well, one dog, it's a wonderful, long time.
Yeah.
I must have first come in here when I was...
Yeah, you were quite small.
Yes.
You were quite small.
Had my first bicycle.
He was a nice little boy, I think. He wasn't happy about home. He would escape from Caen to come here. He had quite difficult parents. They were very holy. His mother was a very strong person, very restricting, not how you would like a mother to be. Very she wanted her way all the time. She wasn't very kind to him.
So in what way would she restrict him then?
Oh, I think there were a lot of restrictions that we didn't know about, because he would do anything to come up here. And he loved, as he got older, he loved going around with his gun. He was mad on that, but he watched nature tremendously. He'd disappear into the woods. Did a lot on his own, but he did a lot. He was often, in this house. Well, he was always in the yard. He was always doing things. But day after day he would come. And then we were always pleased to see him.
About these obsessed people. Oh, look, going to follow Du Chaillu, this hero of mine, who
Yes.
he discovered the gorilla. I told you all about him.
Yes. Anyway, go on.
Anyway, in the jungle.
Yes.
And then, Russia and Mongolia, very impressive man called Przhalski, Przhalski's horse.
So are you
But he
going
was
to ride
rather
a
brutal. And then in America, in the far west, there's a guy called Cope and Marsh, these two men, who really discovered the dinosaurs for us, Tyrannosaurus Rex, and in the middle of the Indian Wars, and they hated each other, and it's a good story.
He's so well read. I mean, that was the other thing, of course, that he was passionate about, yes, explorers, when exploring was exploring. But there's still a lot to do, isn't there? And you're going, are you? I wish you luck. That's the wood there that
Yes.
Redmond used to go tripping about in.
Yeah, I still think it's the most beautiful wood in the world, and it has a little valley in the middle, and a little stream.
Yeah. Good memory. Don't break your neck here.
So now you all know it. This secret hiding place where my love for nature and exploring grew into a lifelong passion. It all started here. The collecting of eggs and dead animals, the study of birds and plants. I never grew up, I suppose.
Hey, whoa. That's what's it? Oh, it's a squirrel. I want that. Yeah? I used to have a fridge full of these, and stoats and weasels and voles, several types of mice, and I even found Gilbert White's harvest mouse, and they were all in the fridge, and a wonderful collection. I was going to stuff them one day, but Belinda, my wife, she really didn't like it, and not only did she throw all the animals out, but she threw the fridge out as well.